Hey guys, what's up? How are you? Hope that you guys are having an amazing one today. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Gerel, and in today's video we are going to be playing with a new palette from Natasha Denona. This is the Xenon palette, the Midi palette, and it retails for $69. I purchased mine directly from the Natasha Denona website. We have it right here. It's made in Italy and it does have a shelf life of 24 months. And just in case you guys don't know, I do have an affiliated code with Natasha Denona, which is Gerel15, and that will give you 15% off of your first purchase. So I will link everything down below for today's video, as well as my code. If you guys are using my links or affiliated codes, I really do appreciate it because it goes back to my channel. But let's go ahead and get started with the video. But before we do, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already. You can also like this video because that definitely helps out my channel so much, and you can also click on the little bell that will notify you whenever I upload a new video, which is every single week. And without further ado, let's get started. So here we have the outer packaging for the Natasha Denona Xenon palette, really nice and beautiful. And here we have the color story, and I know that I do not have anything like this in my collection, and that is one of the things that I absolutely love about Natasha Denona, that I constantly find myself saying that when it comes to her eyeshadow palettes, just because she's so unique to putting a palette together. And maybe I might have like shades from the palette, but the way that everything is set up is very unique, and I absolutely adore that about Natasha Denona, how she just isn't really afraid. She's very creative, and I really am excited to try this palette, especially with my skin tone. I want to know how it actually looks, and this palette is definitely out of my comfort zone. This is not a palette that I see myself reaching for every single day. We can definitely make it wearable just by adding one of the glitter shades all over our lids and just using the darker shades as liners, but this is definitely going to be like super smoky and super out there. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with these swatches. Rhyme, Cygnus, Stellar, Blizzard, Grew, Ebb, okay, Super Ionic, Spash, Snowbow, Night Sky, Contrail, Snert, Neve, Flurry, and Skift. Here we have the Xenon palette swatches. What do you guys think? I don't even know where to start really, but yeah, let's go ahead and play with it and get creative and have some fun. So let's go ahead and get into the makeup looks. Using the Hourglass Primer to prime my eyes, I'm going to take Blizzard, and I'm going to use this as my transition shade. Yeah, this is wow, that's very gray, like creating my shape with it and really focusing this shade on my crease just as a transition shade. And I clean all of my brushes today, so I'm very happy about that. I mean, look how cute, they're all clean. And I'm using the BK Beauty 211 brush. I want to make sure that I am really focusing on the shape that I'm going for before I add any of the darker shades. So I'm really just taking my time with this shade right here. I'm going to take Snert, which is a deeper grayish tone shade. I'm going to just add it to the very crease of my eye. So there is definitely a difference between those two. As you can see, I created a little bit more depth than the other shade, but it's still within the gray tone. So I'm really going to push this color into my crease with the same brush. I'm using a clean brush as an eraser, especially right here in the inner part, and just shaping it up a little bit better by doing that. I really don't know the look that I am creating. I don't even have like a plan or anything. I'm just going with the flow, and I think that I want to take Night Sky, which is this one right here, and I'm using the Refer 13 brush. I'm going to focus that in the outer corner. We're really pressing it down, blending the edges with Snert, adding a little bit of a Night Sky on my lower lashes. I'm going to take Grew with my finger, going to add it to my eyelid, and leaving a little bit of space in the inner corner. Going to intensify the outer corner a little bit with Night Sky again. I'm going to take the shade Supersonic using the Refer 21 brush. I'm going to add it to the rest of our lid. Oh my goodness, so intense. Okay. I'm just bringing it up a little bit, and I'm going to make sure that it's just feathering in with the other shade that we have, which is Grew. Going back with Grew just to make sure that we didn't lose that shade. That is stunning. Wow, this is beautiful, beautiful. Taking the Refer 03 brush and Stellar, just going to add it to the inner part of my lower lashes and just sweeping it back to meet with the Night Sky shade. Just taking Night Sky on a smaller brush just to make sure that we can smoke it out, and going back with Stellar. Alright guys, so I am going to do the rest of my face and all of that good stuff, and I'm going to show you the final look for this eye right now. Alright, so I'm back with this undone face, so we can go ahead and move on to this eye right here. I'm going to use the Refer 14 brush in the shade Fleur. I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. I'm just going to add it to my crease, and this looks pretty pale on me. Even though Fleur looks a little bit more beigey on the pan, it's definitely pulling a little bit white on me, but I'm just going to do the same thing. Taking Snert again, just because this is the only shade that I do feel like it fits for the second step. So just going back with the same brush just to add it on the crease and the outer part, and just going in halfway in and taking the shade Flurry again just to blend the edges. Taking a clean 13 brush from Refer, I'm going to use the shade M, which it feels more of a blue, like really dark blue, and I'm going to add it to the outer corner, and also adding it to my lower lashes a third of the way. They blend so nicely, but I do gotta say that I feel like I'm doing the same thing even though I use like different shades. This one might be just a little bit darker than this one, but okay. Going back with Snert and just blending the edges. So I'm going to take the shade Skift with my finger, which it feels more of a cream to powder formula, and I'm going to add it to the lid, and I'm going to use Snowbow to the inner corner and just blending it in. And Snowbow does have like a pink, a little bit of purpleness, tiny little bit of a blue in there. So it looks really beautiful. I'm going to clean the brush. This one is the BK Beauty 209 brush. And I'm going to go back to Skift just to build it up. That looks so pretty. Cleaning the brush and now using Neve for the inner corner in the lower lashes. So I'm going to use the shade Rhyme just a little bit and just add it to the highest points of my brow. Doing the same thing on the other brow as well. I'm going to tie line using the Natasha Denona black liner, and I'm going to also add it on my waterline. And I'm going to use a blue liner for this eye right here, which is from Laura Mercier. I think that is only available on her website, but I am going to link it down below. I'm going to use it for my tie line and also my waterline. Alright guys, so let me go ahead and now show you the final look for this eye. I have never done it on my whole entire face so quick. My toddler keeps on waking up, but anyways, alright, so here is the final look. Here's look number 1 and here's look number 2, and I gotta say that they look very similar even in person. I don't think my husband would actually notice that I'm wearing 2 different eye looks, but the shade that we actually use in both of the looks is this one right here, which is Snert, and it's because it's like a mid-tone kind of shade just to go in before going in with a darker shade. So you know, we use the lighter shade, 2 different lighter shades in both of the eyes, and then the mid-tone shade, the only one that we have to work with, it's Snert. That is something that I noticed right away because I was looking at and there is not another mid-tone shade to transition into the darker shades. So yeah, anyways, I think that this palette is absolutely beautiful. The quality, oh my goodness, even though they are darker shades that we are working with, they blend like a dream. Very little fallout, and the sparkles is just It has my heart. Now this color story is definitely not going to be for everyone. You have to be into these kind of shades, cool tone shades, leaning a little bit more blue grayish. You can definitely bring in a black, like a true black, to even make it a little bit more smokier. I don't think that any of these shades will give me that like true black like my nail polish, but I know that we have plenty of black eyeshadows in our collection, and you might already have a favorite one. I try not to use like black eyeshadows just because I am satisfied with the darkness that this palette can provide me, but if I do want to use a black eyeshadow, I do have one in my collection. But yeah, I don't really use black eyeshadows anyway. But going back to this palette, I was not able to use all of the shades. Like I didn't use Cygnus, and I also didn't use Contrail, and I also did not use Spash. Oh, actually I did use Spash because I decided to add a little bit more deepness using Spash and Night Sky. So I did use it right here in the outer corner. So out of all of the shades that we have here, I was not able to use just 2 shades, which this one right here looks absolutely stunning for like a beautiful smoky, super dark night sky kind of look. And I am definitely going to be creating more looks using this palette because I'm really excited for this color story. Again, just because it's something new. I didn't even pick up the Xenon palette, like the mini one. I never picked it up just because those colors are not like my go-tos at all, but because she came out with a midi palette, and this right here is like one of my favorite size palettes of all times, and just the sparkle itself, it gets me. I'm really inspired to use this palette all over again and just create more looks, even though they might end up looking very close to one another. I don't care. Just the quality of the palette, the sparkle that I know that is going to give me, and just like the smokiness, the sultriness of it is just super lovely. I know that it's not going to be for everyone. You might not even think that it's worth it because all the looks could look similar, so it's really up to you. It's your decision on what is it that you are looking for. If you are into this color story, you love Natasha Denona, then you are definitely not going to be disappointed with the quality of this palette. But if you already have similar shades in your collection, or you just don't see yourself reaching for this palette, then don't even worry about it. But you guys, that is it for this video. I hope that it was helpful to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your love, your time, and support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, and I will see you next time.